right, everybody, this is Mrs. Drefsinski, and I'm going to walk you through evaluating functions. So you can see we have three different functions here. We have f of x, which is an equation. We have g of x, which is a table. And we have h of x, which is a graph. So we're going to walk through evaluating from an equation, from a table, and from a graph. So our first problem is finding f of -5. So I need to go to my f function, which is this equation, okay? So if I find f of -5, that's telling me wherever I see x, to replace it with -5. Okay, so now if I go to simplify this, my final answer would be 42, okay? Which means f of -5 is 42. In my next problem, I'm doing f of the quantity x plus 4. So that means wherever I see x, I'm going to replace it with the quantity x plus 4. Okay, so what I need to do first is I need to square the quantity x plus 4. So I'll show you a couple different ways of doing that. Remember, when you're squaring something, it means multiplying it times itself twice. So this is what x plus 4 quantity squared means. Remember, we need to double distribute here. So x times x gives me x squared. X times 4 gives me 4x. 4 times x gives me another 4x. And 4 times 4 gives me 16. And if I simplify that, I get x squared plus 8x plus 16. Okay, the shortcut of squaring a binomial, instead of doing all that work, which will always work, it's just a little bit longer, is to square the first term. So my first term is x, I'm going to square it. And then next you would multiply these two terms together. So x times 4 is 4x. Then you need to double it. That's what gives me the positive 8x. And then the last step is to square the last term. So 4 squared is 16. Okay, so whether you write out x plus 4 squared and double distribute, or if you use that shortcut pattern, it doesn't matter. Shortcut's obviously quicker. Next, I'm going to distribute the -2 to both terms. So I have minus 2x minus 8 plus 7. Then I'm going to go through and I'm going to combine my like terms. Remember, like terms have the same exponent, so there's only one x squared. Then I'm going to go through and combine my x's. So that'll give me a positive 6x. And then I'm going to go through and combine my constants. So the 16 and the 7 is 23. Okay. All right, next we're finding g of 2. So the g function is my table here. Okay. Remember, whatever's in parentheses is your input. It's your x value. So that means I need to go to an x value of 2. So when I find g of 2, my answer is the y value, which is -6. And lastly, we're going to find h of 1. H of x is my graph. Again, whatever value is in parentheses is your x value, or your input. So I need to go to an x value of 1. That happens right here. Okay, and if you look at like, where's my x value 1 on the graph, it hits the graph right here, my answer will be the y value. So my answer here would be -4. Okay, so again, just a little review about evaluating from an equation, from a table, and from a graph.